Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with our very last episode of Beast Mode. This series was dedicated to the building, painting, and designing of our studio's 3,000 Point Beastmen Brayherd Army for our games of Warhammer, the Old World. And as you can see in this video clip, in this video overthrow, the entire army is now fully completed. It is ready to rock and roll. It is ready to bring wrath and ruin upon the battlefields of the Old World. So in this video, we're going to talk about exactly what our design concepts were for this army, what our intent was when we go about building this army. We'll also talk about some of the design elements of the individual units inside of it. We'll talk about the units that we've completed and worked on, as well as the units that we've now newly accomplished and added to the army as well to totally round it out. As you can see, it looks absolutely amazing. I love the color schemes. I love the contrast between the earth tones, the teals, and the reds in this army. It came together very, very quickly. I think I painted this in about 6 weeks is what I actually did for my painting on this. And the reason why it took me only 6 weeks is because I think it's because I'm used to painting miniatures quite quickly. That's one of my skill sets when it comes to miniature painting. So I got this army done very, very rapidly. And I think it's because I've worked on 17 armies throughout my entire career as a miniature painter for Warhammer. So when you paint 17 armies, you tend to learn how to do it and get it done very quickly. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about exactly what we've worked on since the last time we met together. So let's talk about the units we've already worked together. First of all, we got this huge honking unit of 30 Vestigors, what we actually have over here. As you can see, the entire unit is fully completed up. I've also got some Felgor Ravagers mixed in there, as well as some Gore. I did this that way I can distribute my Felgor Ravagers throughout my main Beastman units, so that way it kind of looks like the red elements from my Felgors and kind of blend in with the rest of the army. As you can also see, too, I also made movement trays for this unit as well, so that way they can move around very, very quickly, because moving all these guys one by one will be absolutely insane. The formation for this will be 6 wide and 5 deep. I have 2 unit fillers. I have a Chaos Spawn unit filler over there, as well as this Brayherd horn. That's going to be used, the Bray horn, for the army special rules. I'll take up 2 fighters there. I also have a unit of 25 Gore. This unit also consists of a Chaos Spawn unit filler, representing 4 best Gore, as well as a Felgor Ravager, who's going to be used as my secondary, just regular Bray Shaman. So these guys look awesome as well. 25, 5x5 is their unit formation for that one, and I also built a unit movement tray for them. And I also got a unit of 20 Ungor as well, armored short bows, and they're also put on a 5x4 formation, 5 wide, 4 deep, and they also have a movement tray for that unit as well. Now the movement tray is actually really simple. It's just made out of cheap cardboard backing board that you get like on the back of photographs and things. And I've used fun foam to build the actual rim of it, and then I dusted it with some sand and some wood glue and painted it up to match the top of their bases, and also washed them. So that looks amazing. We also have this unit of 6 Chaos Warhounds. They could also be used as units of Razor Gore if I wanted to as well. These are the old Raptorexes from Warcry. And if you're wondering why each one's a different color, the reason why I did that is in case if I did multiplayer games of Warcry, different colored Raptorexes could go to different colored warbands, and that was the idea behind that color scheme. I had other projects I wanted to work on that were more important at the time, so these guys went to the back burner, but I finally pulled these guys up to finish up to round out the army, so this unit's done. I have this nice art unit of 6 Dragon Ogres. I really love the way these guys came out. As you can see, they got red hindquarters as well as war paint on their torsos. It looks really, really cool. I really love the way that this unit really came out. This came out fantastic. Same thing with this huge honking unit of 9 Minotaurs. 8 Minotaurs with a Doom Bull. As you can see, we talked about these guys the last time, all covered in blood and gore effect as well. Look absolutely amazing. Same thing with our 6 Furies back here. These are Warcry Furies, that I'm using for Harpies. I'm using those guys for that. So they're also from Warcry as well. They kind of fell on the back burner because the other projects I want to work on. I got a great Bray Shaman, as well as another Felgor who's going to use this Flaming Bull of Doom thing from Endless Spells from AOS. That's going to be a Razor Gore Chariot. And of course, we also have our 3 Flocks of Doom, which are our 3 Raven-looking things. I'm not sure what I'm going to use these for. I think about using it as another unit of Harpies, maybe like 6 unit of Harpies if I want to. Or Razor Gore, or whatever the case may be. I also have this huge Obelisk. The Brayherd Stone is going to be my side Gore for my army. So we talked about those, and those are the latest additions that we've made to the army. Now, over here is where we finally got our last 2 miniatures. First of all, we have a Chaos Giant. So as you can see here, it's a nice dark skin tone Chaos Giant. I also put war paint on this guy as well. In fact, I'm going to just move these miniatures a little bit so you can see the back of this guy. So I also put some war paint on this guy too, so that way he can match the Ungor. And the reason why I did that is because I realized this guy looks like a giant Ungor. He's got cloven hooves for feet, but he mainly looks human. He's also got the like turned down horns that the Ungor have as well. So my thought here is that this is actually not a giant. This is actually an Ungor that they got a lot of warpstone into, and he just became massively huge. So that's why I decided to put the warp paint on this guy as well. Did turquoise and green with his paint schemes for the most part, as well with blue striping war paint to make him match the Ungor unit. This guy was actually very, very quick to paint. I was actually surprised how quick I got this Chaos Giant painted. And then, of course, the pièce de résistance, the big boy himself, the Gorgon. And as you can see, this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Did a turquoise, green turquoise color scheme for his fur. And I basically made him match the way I did the looks for the Minotaurs, because technically speaking, that's what a Gorgon is. A Gorgon is just a Minotaur that's eaten a lot of human flesh and warpstone, and it grew to prestigious size. And so, yeah, I got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell. So I got a massive cowbell on that guy. This guy was actually pretty quick to paint, too. The most interesting thing about this guy, though, was the number of skulls he has on him. I mean, look at the skulls that he has on his loincloth, his waist, around his neck. He's got tons of skulls everywhere. That took a while to paint, and the reason why is because there's individual strips of cloth and fabric holding those skulls into place. Let me see if I can zoom this so you can see it better. Yeah, there you go. So you can see like the individual whole like strips and stuff of cloth that I paint for this guy as well. And I decided to match his color scheme to match those of the Minotaurs, so that way his fur is like dyed colors, and same thing with the fabric that he uses on his wrist guards and his horns and his ankles. So that way he matches the rest of the army, but then I decided to do that blood gore effect and not use war paint and use a gore effect instead to make it look like he's really been chopping it up and eating people, because that's what Gorgons do. I mean, they're ravenous, they're known for their endless hunger, glowing green eyes as well. It's absolutely terrifying. So yeah, I added this guy to the army as well. These two guys actually got painted up in a week. And like I said, they were actually pretty quick, considering how big they are. They're actually went by really, really fast. What I do for this army to make it paint so quickly is I paint most of them in the same color. I spray them with flat red primer. I then dry brush the flesh tones on real quick, as well as some brown tones for the furs and things. So that way it paints on most of the miniature already. All you gotta do from that point is work on the details. These actually came out really, really fast. I think this guy took like a day and a half to paint, and I think another day and a half for this guy. So about 5 days, about 4 to 5 days what it took to paint these guys up. A full week when you count the fact you got to put oil wash on them and also let them dry and cure for 24 hours as well. But yeah, I was really, really happy with the way this army came out. I'll do a little bit more of a deeper dive on these guys when I do an army showcase on this army. Later on, I'll set up some Iron Majors terrain, and I'll put these guys on there so that way you can see exactly what they look like. But yeah, this army took me about 6 weeks to paint, and I love the end result. So there you guys go. This is the final episode of Beast Mode, the series dedicated to the building, painting, and designing of our studio's 3,000 Point Beastmen Army. I managed to get most of the bulk of the collection for about $125. I was able to get the Chaos Giant, the Gorgon, the Brayherd, the Endless Spells. Who else? The Great Bray Shaman back there. These 20 Ungor. I got 20 Gore and 10 Bestigore. I also got all the endless spells for these guys too. Same thing with the 2 Chaos Spawn. I also have the Doom Bull and these 2 Minotaurs on the front, and I got all those for about $125. Is when I managed to get those secondhand from my local game store. Now the Felgar Ravagers already had on hand already, so that didn't cost me anything. Same thing with the Harpies, the Furies, as well as the Raptor Rexes. I already had those on hand too. So that didn't cost me anything either. Same thing with the Giant, as well as the troll-looking creatures back here that I made into Minotaurs. I had this troll, this giant, this troll, that Etten, and that troll back there. All 6 of those miniatures were just kind of collecting dust in my bits box. So I brushed those guys out and I put them on bases and I painted them up. So this army was actually very, very cheap to assemble. I couldn't get that army. I couldn't get these miniatures for $125 by today's prices. I mean, you figure what? A box of 3 dragon ogres are like what, $70 almost? So that's $140. Yeah, $140 right there. For the $125 I had, I can maybe have my 1 unit of dragon ogres, or maybe my units of Gore and maybe Bestigore, maybe that. But I was able to get everything else secondhand pretty quickly. The guy I bought this from was an Age of Sigmar player, and he was playing Beast of Chaos, I guess, and he wanted to get rid of his miniatures. So I was able to get him off him for $125. So that part was really, really nice. And the rest of it, of course, I just used cheap craft paint for most of it. Midwax polyshade acrylic, some cans of cheap spray paint, and varnish from Walmart. And has a beautiful result, and I can't wait to see exactly how this army participates on the tabletop. Now that I got my army painted, now all I gotta do is actually look for a game. Now that's gonna be a little harder to do because I'm doing college classes right now, doing my graduate degree, so it's a little bit harder for me to get games in. That's why there's a lack of battle reports on my channel. A lot of my free time is eaten up with my college classes, and that's just the way it goes. You're going back to work and working full time, it's just the way it goes, and going back to school. So something's got to give, and to be perfectly honest, if something has to give in order to achieve my livelihood, it'd be my wargaming. So hopefully I'll be able to get a battle in here pretty soon with this army. I might be digging my battle reports around 2,000 points mostly, just because I don't have the time to do like 3,000 point battles anymore, even though this army is massively huge. But yeah, really happy with the end result. I'm really happy that it's done. I'm really happy that it took me only about 6 weeks to get this army completed. I'm really happy with that end result. So these look absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see what they do when I actually put them on the table. So that's good to listen to you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest, greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good to listen to you guys. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.